Hi everyone, my name is 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗪𝗪. I'm here with Stephen Chen. I'm going to just introduce him in a little while here. This is Testing for 10 for the English Language Testing Society. Today we're sponsored by Itype, International Test for English Proficiency. And our guest today is Stephen Chen. He's the Chinese Dean of Kansas International School of Sias University. So thank you so much, Stephen, for for being here and agreeing to do this interview with us. I know it's late there in China, and thank you so much for. We had a little bit of a problem adjusting the time zones, but we're fine now. So thank you so much, and I hope we're going to have a great interview.
Thank you so much, and you are very welcome for this interview. And I really like Itype products, and also I really know this is going to be very useful for many projects in different countries. So I'd like to share my experience and knowledge about this part, especially to your questions.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I'm just going to go ahead and ask how did you become interested in assessment?
Okay, very simple. And before this recording, we had the communication about the Chinese Foreign Education Corporation in the running schools in China, which means we have more foreign degree programs can be taught, offered in China to the Chinese students. So this is the point. If we want to study some degree programs in a foreign country, we have to meet the requirements for the degree, such as they require academic performances in the courses. Also, they require the proficiency of that local language. For us, such as if I want to have my American degree, I have to be able to speak in English. So there are several products like TOEFL, IELTS, Itype, TLC, or even English 3, Duolingo. They are all assessment tools for the American or English degree programs. So why I'm interested with Itype specifically, because that's from my experience, because we are offering education from China, from American partner schools to large group of Chinese students. And we are doing 4+0, which means 4 years they will study in China, and most of them, they will stay in China to work. So which means if we can have a suitable, convenient, but also quality English proficiency exam product, we can help them to have better English training, much more customized services, and save their time and money. So this is the key, one of the keys to the success of a joint degree program like what we are offering in here. If we use TOEFL or IELTS, also they are good choices, but I prefer the most suitable one to the students we are offering.
Right. And that leads us to the next question that I had for you. And we were talking, like you mentioned, we were talking before we started rolling the camera and recording. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience with assessment in China, since you have a lot of experience with this cooperation degrees between an American university or any other country's university and a Chinese university?
Well, this is very interesting. Actually, I was preparing something this morning for this special time, because we are going to have the 20th anniversary celebration for our joint degree programs. Actually, because the pandemic, we are in the year of number 22. We are late for our 20th anniversary. So you see, from the first year of our degree program, we started to think about which English proficiency exams we can use for our degree students. Finally, we got to work with our partner school, TLC, the language company from Oklahoma in the United States. Then they introduced us to Itype. So you can see this is the beginning of my experience with English English test which can be accepted by the American universities. So throughout these years, we had different versions, different technologies, different platforms to do this exam or to do the similar exams. So we actually, in my mind, I would say we went through 5 major phrases, which means based on the demands of our students, based on the demands for the technologies for the exams, also, especially to overcome the difficulties like the cross-border, different time zones, and the quarantine and pandemic control of COVID-19, such as all the difficulties. We developed even more value-added services to the Itype products, our TLC products. So you can see over 20 years with foreign degrees, which means we have similar length of time of the experience with English proficiency exam, like Itype. Also, we have a kind of more creations, more customized supports to those products. So that's it. Very simple.
When you talk about specific products, you're talking specifically about the Itype products.
Yes.
So you kind of customize their tests and for your context.
Yes, right. Actually, for this part, if may I make it a little bit clearer, because based on the demands, such as the habits of the students, the number of the students we test each day, or the specific situation, such as the internet, number of the foreign faculty, or the quarantine of the COVID-19, such as we developed more value-added services to the original Itype product, such as we have online or in-person proctors, and also we have technology can make our exam much more safe or much more convenient. So we really appreciate the content, the test materials from Itype company, but we worked together to develop much more convenient services of tests to all those clients.
Right, right. And when you mentioned these particularities of the Chinese audience, that also leads me to my other question. In your experience, what would you say are some of the particularities of the Chinese audience, both in terms of their strengths and in terms of difficulties or challenges that you have faced throughout these 22 years of experience?
Okay, well, for this part, it's a little bit of challenge because, you know, throughout these years, from my experience and our team's experience, and maybe not only one strength, there are several. Maybe not only one difficulties, because we have difficulties every year. So there are so many. So may I share some samples? Like my students, or the students I have served in the English proficiency exams. And such as if they need a much flexible on-campus exams, we have to consider how big the size it is or it will be. Such as if more than 300 students, they want to have this exam one day, I have to consider whether this English proficiency exam can have enough database, which means the questions. Otherwise, most students will repeat some old questions, just be finished by the previous students. Or we have a special setting, can ensure all the students can take the test at the same time, which means we save the size of the database, and we can evaluate all the students with one set or two sets questions with a very fair or equal, same difficulty, the difficult level of performance of the exam.
Right.
So this part is one of the strengths of TLC and Itype. And especially my team in China, we can use our organizational solutions, proctor solutions, and they offer us the flexible database, or the best way to evaluate our students' English proficiency abilities. And also another particular strength I would suggest you, our friends, can consider when they think about this model is who will be the final school, I mean the end user to accept scores. Because such as if we have one exam, if more than 300 students take our exam on one day, but there must be some after test services some students will need. Then how to send the scores to the end users, like foreign university or foreign college, without our less errors, less problems, but a better customer services to the students, either require a lot of collaboration, communication, or even personal communication between the test center and end user, also to the students, customers. So TLC has been very outstanding to work with us to offer these services and to connect the test center, end user college, and us, we connect with our customers, which are the students. So those two are very important for our current clients in China. And also the difficulty, maybe not only one, but for me right now, in this year, we are still facing the short of foreign faculty, and we are still facing a kind of preference of the students, such as because for the English proficiency exam, always we require a part to be tested for the speaking portion, speaking exams. So many of our students still very much keen on with in-person speaking exam, because they can read the facial signals of the greeter. He or she will understand the speaking questions or speaking prompts much easier, and then they can reply with their gestures, body languages, can make their answers much more, which I want to say, much easier to be understood. But when they do the motion, when they do the computer exam, when they talk to the screen, actually they listened only to the voice. They did not see any facial signals. They could not use their body language or facial signal to express their meaning. Actually, this is so true for me as well, because I'm not a native speaker for English. Even I had studied English for many, many years. I still need a lot of signals, body languages, and impressions to help me to express my meaning. So for this part, whether we could have enough foreign faculty, qualified foreign faculty to grade the speaking exam, still one difficulty, because we cannot have enough foreign faculty now, because we are not opened to the international regions yet. And I believe we will open the borders very soon. Another difficulty I would suggest in China is memorize. Because many students, if we test 300 students a day, if we don't have enough database, which means many students, they can put their answers or they can put the information together to have this test in different places from their memories. They can remember the questions, speaking prompts, writing prompts, and they can share the answers with each other very easily on social media. Winter is one challenge to the test developer. So this is a difficulty, because for many, such as for TOEFL, from my one of the trainings I took with a TOEFL team in China, they had a very large database. Each question required so much money to develop, to be developed. But for Itype or for other exams, even we have a similar size database, but how can we avoid this kind of memorized information shared, leaked by large group of students on one day or 2 days? I would say that's one difficulty.
Right. And I was going to ask you about how the pandemic has affected the assessment practices in China. And I think that's one of the examples, right? The shortage of the foreign faculty has been, I think, probably one of the biggest difficulties.
You are right. You are right. And let's talk about this in two different perspectives, because the pandemic is just something very special. It will not last long, so we have to think about the normal practice. We hope we still can do in the common days, in the regular, our natural days, and we would have the abilities can communicate with students, prepare them well, and then they can take the test on 1 day or 2 days, and then finish everything very smoothly. But pandemic, which means the students will be do the home-based learning, will be the a kind of home-based learning. Let's use this term, home-based learning. And each student will be in his home or home individually. So it requires a lot of technical supports to set up the online exam platforms before they can take our exams. It needs a lot of technical supports. Secondly, even under pandemic, many students, they return to their campuses, which means we will have a large group of students on campus. Then it will require whether we can have enough labs, enough computers can connect with our test platform. At the same time, our can be safe enough. They will not see the screens of each other. For the home-based learning, if we test them at home, they will use a kind of distance control of their laptops or computers, then there would be some cheating. If they can do the online exams on campus, we have proctors in place. They will not cheat, but it will require a lot of improvements, our quantity of the hardwares, computers, laptops, and the internet services. So both home-based learning or campus online exam under pandemic all require so many things. But for me and for our team, we developed this exam, the service of this exam, to 5 different models, such as the simple one. They can do in the pandemic, in the quarantine time, they can do it at home. But we use another phone, second phone, to put in the bag as the proctor camera. We have someone online to watch the bag, the environment of this student. So the camera from the computer can take the pictures from the front, and we have one phone in the back to take pictures around the student. This is the first solution. That's for individual test, our smaller group test. Secondly, we have totally on campus. Just as soon as we returned to our campus, we had a not a smaller group, but medium-sized exams, use paper-based exams, in-person proctoring, in-person speaking exams. That's the regular or normal practice we had many years. That's the second model. One is fully online, another one is fully on campus. The third model is for small groups, such as small groups online exams, such as we can organize such as 100 students, put them into 6 or 7 computer labs. We have 2 proctors in each room to watch them and separate them, such as for 2 seats only for 1 student. So we ensure they can have this kind of test safely, and we have people can watch them very carefully. So that's different with home-based learning. We don't need to have the camera in the back, but we have the people in the classrooms. And the number 4 is because we were short of foreign faculty, which means the graders for the speaking exam. We had paper-based multiple choices, writing, because many of our students, they are still prefer to have writing in paper and with their pencil, because that's the best way for them to think with their note paper and write better. So this is the thing. So we certify them. We offer paper-based exam for the multiple choices, for the writing. Then we have some foreign teachers on campus to grade some of the students. Then we set up our computers, laptops, connect with our teachers in foreign countries, started with the United States, with the test center from different locations. Those graders, professional graders, they online have the video call, conference call with our students one by one. That's number 4. Number 5, and this is the flexibility of TLC and Itype, also our team. If there will be some students really need some exams very quickly, and they are not very familiar, or they cannot do the home-based online exam directly, we use Zoom. That's one thing. We use Zoom like this way. We record all the process of their writing, multiple choices, and speaking, especially speaking, then grade one by one. So all these 5 different models we developed, 4 of them, because we use the second one, most of the time in the previous years. So we developed 3 new models mixed with the previous 2, in total 5 models, and offered to our customers in the last 2 years.
Right. Okay. My last question. So, could you tell us a little bit about these projects that you are involved in at the moment? You know, you started mentioning the partnerships between the Chinese universities and the American universities. So, can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Okay, thank you very much for this question. This leads to one of the key work I have to do well in the coming 2 or 3 months. And I'm doing Chinese foreign education cooperation in running schools. Right now I'm managing the 4th degree programs at the Sias University in China. We have several different things in here. Number 1, we offer bachelor degree programs from United States, also from Chinese university, our school. Secondly, my team, I came back to my university in last July. Before that, I was running Itype and TLC test services in north part of China. Right now, my team is in charge, but I'm on campus with a degree program management. That's the second project we are doing. Thirdly, we are still helping our partner schools to develop partner to offer services to their Chinese partner schools. I mean, our foreign partner schools, to help them to offer services to their Chinese partner schools. Also, number 4, I'm very interested, and I have been doing this. I hope I can do much more good projects, which means to help more Chinese universities can work with different universities from different countries. And for this part, may I make one special, how to say, just share one of my considerations when I talk about to have better services for this degree, for this kind of education cooperation. We have to think about 3 keywords, may I suggest. Number 1, economic scale. If we do the Sino-foreign education cooperation and offer them in China, we do these joint degree programs in other countries, especially in developing countries, we have to think about economic scale first. If there will not be enough students, we can put into this degree program, which means not enough tuition or fund be generated to support the developments. That's the first keyword I introduce, economic scale. Second word, affordable. Because no matter in the developed countries, also in the developing countries, for students, if there will be a solution to make the tuition in those joint degree programs or international degree programs much more affordable by students and their parents, which means it's easier to achieve the economic scale.
Right.
Thirdly, we really needed to have friendship. Friendship does not mean we just shake hands together. It's a real understanding of different culture, different society, different societies, different political systems, and different background information. Because for Sino-Foreign Education Cooperation or for any other international degree cooperation in different countries, there will be so many difficulties, so many problems, so many misunderstandings, so many challenges, and so many wrong things. We have to have open heart, use friendly mind to just make up some problems or some mistakes we caused without the intention, or we help more people be able to be involved in this special project. Because think about the economic scale, affordable, and friendship are going to connect more worlds, more society together. Think about this young generation, if we can help in this kind of industry, in this kind of project, they will understand their home country from the society, economics, political system, right, and different things. Then they can have experience, long-term, stable, qualified experience in one foreign country.
Right.
Which means they can understand same thing on the other side. If lucky enough, they can have a further degree, further education opportunity in a third country. By doing this, there will be more young people can help their home countries and the international regions or partners to make less misunderstandings or less wrong decisions.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for your time and for the wonderful explanations you gave and the whole contextualization about these programs, these collaborations between China and Chinese universities and other countries and other universities. I think this is the way for the future. You know, I think this should be the way for the present, actually, so that we can have a brighter future. But thank you so much, Stephen, and hope
you are very welcome.
Hope to connect with you again.